and welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Cheranda Hammond alongside Brendan Conroy and Jonathan Drager. We are 1 month away from Selection Sunday, and we're getting close to March Madness season. It's time to start looking at teams, brackets, and standout players. Brendan, I'll start with you. When you hear standout college basketball player, who do you think of?
So this guy that stands out to me isn't because of his height, and it's not because of his strength. It's because of his versatility. This guy, Johnny Davis from Wisconsin, he's standing at 6'5" guard, putting up 20.3 points per game, also 8.2 rebounds and 2.4 assists. Those numbers are phenomenal for a guy his size and for a guy with the team that he is on. He's able to read his offense when he's running the ball. He has multiple 20-point games. We don't see a lot of guys, especially in the college aspect, that are hitting these points or reaching these points per game. He also had a 30-point game against Houston. So he is in a perfect spot right now where he is moving the ball around well. With his size, he's adapting to his opponents and knowing what he needs to do. This Wisconsin team sees the tournament a lot. They see it practically every year. This year for them, with a guy like this, and I'm not saying he's the best player. He's by no means the best player, but recently he has made his mark and he has stood out more than anybody else. So if he's in the question, I would not be surprised, especially with his performances recently and how many 20-point games he has against those Big Ten teams, those Southeast teams, and all those other conferences that he has just dominated in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him, make a run for a trophy or for, an award.
Yeah, you're focusing more on the backcourt aspect. I'm going to go more front court, and I'm going to go with Kentucky's own Oscar Tshiebwe. And now you're probably thinking, oh, he hasn't really gotten too much national recognition, but the numbers don't lie. 16.4 points per game, 15.3 rebounds per game. He's averaging over a double-double, over the 15 mark in both statistical categories. And why is that? He's a very physical player on both sides of the ball. He's very physical inside the paint as well. He's able to go up, grab the boards like it's nothing, and he's able to put it back up with just pure strength. And if he gets swarmed too much, he's going to dish it out to the perimeter to either Ty Washington or Xavier Wheeler in the process. And it was very evident against Florida in Rupp Arena this past Saturday. He had 27 points and 19 rebounds, almost a double-double with 20 in each category. So Tshiebwe is a monster in the paint, and he has all the national recognition he deserves right here in Lexington.
With Selection Sunday approaching, it's time to think about the bubble teams either gaining traction or losing hope. John, what team or teams do you think are losing hope for this year's tournament?
Well, losing hope, you had to look at the West Coast Conference, which had about a 3 to 4 bid team looking more towards the 4 side entering around January, February. Now it's looking more like 3, with BYU slowly losing traction in the process. Now, out of their last 6 games, they've only won 2. They lost 4 in a row against some quality conference opponents, but they won 2 games to close games, to the lower tier WCC teams in Pepperdine and Loyola Marymount. Why is that? There's not enough depth. They only have 2 players scoring in double figures, one of them being Alex Barcelo. Now, he can't do everything for the Cougars. So what do they have to do? They have to have the bench and the rest of the starters help contribute to Barcelo, help him make him a better player in the process. Now they have a great opportunity to utilize Barcelo as more of a back role and let the other starters and bench players really come out against St. Mary's this upcoming Saturday. It's going to be at the Gales home arena, so if they get that win, that's going to be a big resume win for the Cougars. That's going to be a great conference win and help the WCC get a 4th bid if they can get past Daniel Fotu and company.
Yeah, what I have to go with, I'm going to stay a little bit at home in the Big Ten, and it's the Michigan Wolverines. These guys should not be in a spot right now where they're not already one of the front runners for the tournament. But right now, they are on the verge of exiting the tournament. So what they need to do to enter is they need to keep doing what they are doing with Hunter Dickinson, keeping that 7-foot guy in the paint down low. The Michigan Wolverines, they have 7 games left on the season, 4 of them at home and 3 of them on the road. All of these games are against Big Ten teams. What's their Big Ten record? 7-6. Now, you might not think that's one of the best records, but Michigan has that record, which is one of their only ones over 500. So if they can produce, it's against Big Ten teams. What their schedule is saying to them right now is, hey, we want to give you some wins because you weren't able to do that when it wasn't conference play. So if they're able to hold off these teams, they're 8-3 at home. That's where they excel. 4 of those games are at home, so they should have no problem at least taking 3 of those games at home, getting those wins padded onto their record already, looking ahead, obviously, to the tournament. They have had guys like Jordan Poole and Mo Wagner been phenomenal in the tournament. Hunter Dickinson is at that level to lead these guys. Like you said, you're a big man guy. I want to look at him, and I want to see him perform as well as he can. Because with these Michigan guys, like I said, their coach is no stranger to the tournament. Once they get in, they can make a run. They were a championship contender with Wagner just a few years back. There's nothing stopping them from making a run and going some distance should they be able to actually make it in and not get kicked off right on the bubble as we head into the Selection Sunday.
Yeah. Out of the 68 teams that make it to the tournament, who do you guys think we're looking at to take the number 1 seed this year?
My thoughts, I'm going to have to go with the dark horse. I'm kidding. I'm going with the Auburn Tigers. I'm going with the front runner. Auburn is in a phenomenal spot this season. Not only are they 23-2, they really only have one loss if you look at it from a conference or an overall standpoint. Their other loss that we don't look at against UConn, sure was a big margin. That was in tournament play. Forget about that loss. Only one against Arkansas. Sure, it was SEC, but their confidence is not going anywhere. They have a 13.4-point margin on opponents throughout the season. Walker Kessler, if we're not even talking about offense, we talk about defense, second in the nation in blocks per game. So they are covering it on every end. Jabari Smith leading the offense right now. The ball movement is phenomenal, off the charts. You look at their highlights, they're moving it around before they even think about the paint, messing with their opponents, playing with the defense's mind. They know what they're doing when it comes to how they want to score, who they want to score, and just like that on the other end, they know how to play defense. They went on a 19-game winning streak before they lost to Arkansas. Like I said, that doesn't hold them back. That just keeps the confidence in their heads because one SEC loss, especially to an Arkansas team, isn't really going to do much for these Auburn guys who are just phenomenal right now on the season and who are producing way better than we've seen before. If these guys don't get the 1 seed, I don't know who does. That's how confident I am in these Auburn Tigers that they'll get 1 out of 68.
I can tell you exactly who will get that number 1 seed, and that's the Arizona Wildcats. Why is that? They have big resume wins earlier on in this season. We're going to start off in Champaign, Illinois, where they beat the Fighting Illini by 4 points early on to start off their season. Later down the line, they beat Michigan, who Conroy said that they were going to be an emerging bubble team. And as time goes on, that win is looking even better than before because they blew out the Wolverines straight up. And now, going into conference play, they only have 1 conference loss against UCLA in Inglewood, California. They did avenge that later down the line, just a couple days, and managed to make a UCLA player arrested for possible spitting. Now, how did they do that? Well, they're averaging 85 points per game and allowing opponents to 65 points per game. So they're locking down defensively, and they're scoring on you tremendously, especially with Benedict Mathurin in the process. Now, if they're going to get the number 1 overall seed in the process, they got to run the entire Pac-12 tournament in Las Vegas. If they run the table for the rest of the regular season and win out in that tournament, I think that overall 1 seed is theirs.
Yeah, I say I cannot wait to see who gets the number 1 seed. I say March Madness is definitely my favorite time of year. I don't know about you guys. That's it for us here at Penn State Sports Night for John Drager and Brendan Conroy, and I'm Cheranda Hammond. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.